feels like we're, trapped on the X for what felt like a lifetime. That eventually turned up a temperature inside of me that enraged and ignited so hot that I couldn't control it. I wanted to kill everyone there that day. There on the objective, on the X, DJ Price from small town Pennsylvania, happy-go-lucky guy, died that day. What I would say is a monster was created, and someone who was obsessed with either war or struggling through anger, bitterness, rage, and lived a life like that from then on started from that moment.
Dennis Price is a special operations veteran with over 18 years of service, completing 15 deployments across the military and private sectors. As a Force Recon Marine, Scout Sniper, Army Ranger, and private military contractor. As a Force Recon Marine, Dennis was the only U.S. service member to officially be permitted to work outside the wire and put boots on the ground in Afghanistan to conduct humanitarian rescue operations out of uniform. Dennis and I have become very close friends. It's really an honor to have you here and be able to share some of our personal history and relationship with the audience. You've had 15 deployments, both in the military and private sector. And one of those deployments was Ramadi. And I know from knowing you that Ramadi was a significant deployment and impacted your life in a pretty profound way. Can you talk about that?
So we're coming up out of there, and convoy's going. Right when you go on an underpassage, the SOP, standard operating procedure, is to switch lanes when you go on an underpassage. So if they see you go in this side, they won't be on the other side, drop a grenade down the gunner's hatch. Everyone did the change, and the third vehicle back or so, he does not. It's an ID-initiated ambush. It started one of the most intense moments of my life that I can pinpoint.
How'd that impact you on future deployments, especially now you're on deployments as a special operator?
It really spiked into that drive, that mentality, that like mission accomplishment, that boom, boom, boom. If you don't do this, people die. If you don't, whatever. And it gave me hyper focus and channelized all my energy to just war, deployment. I did, like I said, 7 back-to-back deployments. And eventually, we're at Scout Sniper School. I'm doing whatever. And I was able to tap into that eventually. But at the same time, I wasn't able to control that. So we could be at a bar and someone bump into me. And boom, all of a sudden, a bar stool's flying across the bar and smashing into the glass just because someone did something wrong. It was a blessing and a curse at the same exact time, but it turned me into such a bitter, raged person, and it couldn't stop. I went to Force Recon Selection, and then served in different units, and then went to Scout Sniper School, and kept raising my hand and be like, I want to go to this school so I can be better on the battlefield, so I can kill more, I can do this, I can be a more lethal weapon for my team, myself, and more people, and just mission accomplishment, and just drive that to the ground. And I did. I drove my family and everyone else I loved to the ground who was around me. There's a very common cliche saying that everyone loves a soldier until he comes home. Mm-hmm. And they deal with us. They deal with the overload and the overflow of that, and it ruins, it comes to steal, kill, and destroy our marriage. And like I said, it's one of the untold stories, but Charlotte has just been that steady rock by my side for over 13 years now. We have 4 beautiful, amazing children. I keep saying, I'm definitely blessed beyond what I deserve. And she's also having to unwind and untangle 13 years of a battle rhythm and the angerness, bitterness, rage, that intensity, misguided that I did for so long.
Your youngest, Amelia, was born with a lot of challenges, and I know that changed the trajectory of your military career.
All this other stuff was happening, and then Amelia was born, and we were stationed by Fort Benning area, and she was life-flighted pretty much right from birth to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, because it was the only hospital that can treat her rare diseases and what was happening in her body. Charlotte and her got life-flighted and they were there for 6 months while I was active duty, and at the same time Corona happened and all this other stuff, and the Marine Corps just decided not to allow Force Recon Marines over at that specific program anymore, so I just got let go of that. Corona, my daughter was born with two rare diseases, and everything started piling up. Get told that the Marine Corps is not going to back me. I now have to switch in the reserve, and at the same exact time, the doctor, because he's like, oh, you're getting out. So there was going to be a blank spot of TRICARE and overflow and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, the doctor comes back and is like, hey, by the way, she's been poked and prodded by 12 specialists and doctors every day for 6 months, plus the life flight. Here's a $1.2 million medical bill. And man, the weight of that piece of paper was the weight of the world that came on my desk and on my shoulders, and just a massive buildup of everything crumbling down at once.
Not to mention you haven't reconciled your struggles from deploying.
No, and that was weaponized against me.